Hi everyone, welcome to our journey from DSA to Dev. In this video, we will be solving one very basic dynamic programming question. In this question, let's say you are given a string and you have to find out a longest substring which is also a palindrome. Okay, so you have to find out a longest substring which is also a palindrome. These two are the basic condition here. Okay, let's take the example here. If I take this substring and BAB, and if I reverse this, I will get the same result, right? BAB. So this way I can ensure that this substring of length 3 is a palindromic substring, correct? Now let's take the example here, ABE. If you reverse this, you will get EBA, right? Which is not same as the original substring here. Okay, so hence this substring is not a palindromic substring, right? So this way we have to find out which substring is the longest one and which is also a palindromic substring. Okay, so in this video we will be solving this via dynamic programming. There are other ways also, with the help of two pointers, with the help of a specified algorithm, and of course via brute force as well. But in this video we are going to focus only on dynamic programming. Okay, all right. So from this example, let me just break them into characters here. Okay, if you will observe, each character is a substring of length 1, right? And if you will reverse this substring, it will come out to be the same, basically, correct? So in a way I can simply say each substring of length 1 is a palindrome, right? Okay, so in dynamic programming, what we exactly do, we simply calculate one result and we just store it for the future result, right? So in this particular question, this scenario is gonna be our basic condition here. Okay, so we will start with this scenario and we will go further to calculate. So here let's go to our previous examples. BAB, it is a substring of length 3, right? If I can somehow ensure that my inner substring, so inner substring is of length 1, right? I already know that this substring is a palindrome. So all I have to check the first index and the last index, correct? So if they are the same, then yes, this substring is a palindrome. Otherwise it's not. So similarly I will store this result as well, and when I will check a substring of length 5, this computed result will be helpful for me. Okay, so again, for this substring of length 5, I will simply check if my inner substring is a palindromic substring or not, and uh, my initial character and the ending characters are the same or not. If not, then I will be simply storing a false answer there. Okay, all right. Let's take the example of this length substring of this length 2, BA. Here we are simply checking if my first character and the last character is same or not, correct? So in this scenario, this is the base scenario for even length of substrings. If my length is 2, I only have to check the first character and the last character, and I will simply store this. When I will check a substring of length 4, this result will be helpful for me, correct? Similarly, if I check the substring of length 6, this result for substring of length 4 will be helpful for me, correct? All right. So we are gonna do it via this way. Let's start with the coding here. So we are having two variables, basically starting index and the last index, correct? Which is basically defining our length of the substring. So this way we are gonna need a two-dimensional array to store our result, correct? And what would be the boundaries? The length of my string. So basically the maximum substring could be equal to the length of whole string, right? Okay. Now let's start with the base scenario. What was our base scenario for each character? So first I will travel the whole string. So what we have to do, we have to simply tell our dynamic programming array that character of length 1. So how exactly we are going to calculate the length 1? Initial index and the ending index would be the same, right? And we are going to mark this as true, correct? All right, so this is our base scenario. Now let's move ahead. Here we are going to start with the length 2, because length 1 we already covered here, right? Okay. And till when? Till equals to the length of the string, correct? I took the equal here because the whole substring can be equal to the length of string, correct? Okay. Now inside this we are going to start another for loop. We are going to check for each substring starting from 0 up to where? Up to my end of the string, right? Okay. So what would be my ending point here? Let's take another variable j. So I is my starting point, right? J is gonna be my ending point. So where is exactly it would be? So my ending point would be I plus length, correct? Let's take the example here. Okay. So let's take the example of this substring of length 3. My initial point is 2, correct? So I is going to be 2 for this case, and my ending index is I plus length is 3, which comes out to be 5, but my ending index is 4 here, right? So for every case my ending index is going to uh, be minus 1 to the total of I plus length. Okay, so we are going to calculate this via I plus length minus 1. Okay. I hope this part is clear to you. All right. Okay, let's move ahead. Now what we have to check, we have to check if the inner substring, how exactly we can calculate the inner substring? I plus 1, j minus 1, correct? Let's take the example here. So my I is 2 and my j is 4, correct? But what is my starting and ending point for inner substring? I plus 1, 3, and j minus 1, which is also 3, correct? All right. And we have to check if it's true or not, correct? If this is true, that means my inner substring is palindrome. And then what we have to check? We have to check if my outer characters, outer characters means character at I and character at j, are equal or not. If this is the scenario, we have to simply store this result, right? So what is exactly happening here? My maximum length is gonna be equals to current length, right? Whichever is my current length here, and dpi and j equals to true. Otherwise, it by default, because we are taking primitive data type, it will be false anyway if this condition doesn't fulfill, right? And also, if you remember, I took one scenario where uh, my substring's length was even, right? In that case, the basic case was length 2. Okay. Now, because for length 2, uh, this particular condition won't give me a proper result, right? Why? If you have length 2, your I would be 3 here and j would be 4 here, correct? Now what you are checking? You are checking I plus 1, which is equal to 4, and you are checking j minus 1, which is 3. So your starting and ending index are interrupting here, correct? So you add this condition as the base condition. If your length is 2, then you are simply passing this scenario. Sorry, we will be using or here. Okay, so if your length is 2, or if this scenario comes true, you will be checking outer characters. Okay, let's just initialize this max length here. So my max length, I will have one character, right, in the string. So one character is always gonna be my palindrome. So I'm starting it with 1. Okay. All right. I think this way we are gonna get our maximum result. Now let's just print it out, what exactly we are getting in our result. Okay. So how exactly we are gonna calculate? In this max length, we only stored the length, right? We also have to store the initial index. So let me take another variable here, initial index, right? We will be starting it by a 0, because my first character will always be a minimum length palindrome, right? And we will also update it here. uh, if my initial index is I. Okay, so I was my initial index here, right? Also, we are gonna do it only if we are updating our max length, right? So if our max length is uh, less than our current length, right? Only in that scenario we are gonna update this part. Okay. All right. I hope this part is clear to you. Uh, okay. Now we have to return the substring, right? So now we have the initial index, we have the maximum length. We just have to call one method here, substring beginning index and beginning index plus max length. Okay. Uh, let's run this code. So in this example, if you remember, this substring was our longest substring, right? Let's see what is the result we are getting. We are getting one error, string out of bound, out of range error here. Okay, let's see why exactly. So here, if you will see, we are having j. We are also using j as the index here, right? So this should also be in our boundaries, correct? In the boundaries of this s dot length, correct? So let's just update this here. Okay, now let's run this, and here we are getting our maximum substring. Okay, let's take another example. Let me add instead of this v, let me take e, uh, and here let me take another be. Okay, so this way you can see this is your substring with maximum length, which is palindrome, right? Let's run this. Yeah, so we are getting a length of 7 now. Okay. All right, that's all for this video. I hope you liked it. Please leave a comment if you have any doubt, and also like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.